Hey yo, I'm Phil and welcome back to another episode of RimWorld. It's unfortunate that we had the bonded animal's death as per last episode, though it will provide us a bit of meat to work with. Interestingly enough, we've still got more insect meat sitting around, which I'm not really too happy that it's still there. Eventually. Oh, wait a second, I know why it's there. I bet you, because we've forbidden it from this stockpile. Which is probably something I did in one of the previous episodes. Let's take a look, shall we? Plants, no, it's not under raw food, is it? Vegetarian meat products, and lo and behold, insect meat. Oh, that explains why. Remember, we're not cooking with insect meat, so as long as our colonists haul it into the frozen area, or our... What are we going to call this? I've already forgotten the names of things. That's our pantry. This is our freezer. Walk-in freezer. There we go. That should be good. But no, Stephen needs a room, and it's something we have to do. Because unfortunately we run out of bedrooms. I think the simplest thing we can do for the time being is unmark this for prisoner and set the owner to Stephen. The drugged up agent, assassin, person. What are you? Disaster survivor and paramilitary agent, right. Well, this will be very interesting. So one of the things we'll be probably researching after our current research will be... Oh wow, minus 25 and with wake up withdrawal. What are we going to do with you? And that's right, because when it comes to your gear, you do actually have wake up on you though. So when you wake up in the morning, you should in theory be taking some. Unless I have to tell you. I don't have to tell you, right? Let's check. I can tell you to drop it. No, you'll take it in your own spare time. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, so one of the things I noticed that we can do this episode is just doing a few household things, maybe beautify a few areas, add a few stalls and whatnot. So one of the first things we can do this time around is grab a chair, which is not under either of those tabs because it counts as furniture. I'm going to put a stool in front. Oh, there's a thought. Now, I like the idea of actually, this is something I was considering just in the break between last episode and the current episode, was if we expand this room out completely and actually have a proper freezer for bodies, and then we just sort of keep a rough level of meat in this storage. That was a thought that I was considering, because we can also move the stonecutter's table closer, well, probably in this room, which means it's right next to our main stockpile of chunks, which could work a little better instead of having two stockpiles. Because it does affect the beauty levels in this area, keeping all these stone bits here. And also all the blood splatters and people being sick everywhere. So that's the thought, so I think that's what I'm going to do. Build a copy and we're going to place it... I believe we're going to place it along the bottom wall, and then we might see if we can put a statue or something in here. It should work out. So I'm going to get around to that eventually. But for the time being, we'll just see how things go. Awesome. This is what I've been waiting for quite a while. We get the machining table finally. So with the machining table, we can disassemble and make a noise. That's the big thing that I want to do. So I'm going to do that forever, and then we're going to add maybe some other builds. Now, I'm pretty sure I've said this before. I like the sniper rifle. Sounds like a really good idea, but the pump shotgun could also be useful, because I don't believe we have any of them around in our colony. Okay, maybe I'll leave that for another time. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing. As long as we get rid of the centipedes, that's just the major thing right now. Yes. So how about are we going to fix up the beauty levels in our colony? Well, one of the things that we can do, first of all, is take a look at the quality levels. And we can see that there's a lot of dirt around the place. So I suspect we're not getting enough cleaning done. And yep, some of the blood splatters and obviously... throw up, vomit? Yeah, vomit, there we go. That's probably the best way to describe it. Say it for what it is. Doesn't look especially nice. So we have to do something about that. The other thing we can do is, notice that this is all minus 13. I don't know if it's because it's dirty or if it's just because it's stone on the ground. I suspect it's just dirty, so more cleaning needs to be done. And then in the main area, which I think of course we'll be removing these fields, now that we've got proper growing areas. It's all -1 because it's just standard ground, and well, just a little bit of blood splatter here. So my thought is that we put up some statues, which is the simplest way to just increase beauty in a lot of these places. Unfortunately not these areas, we can only do cleaning. to fix up this type of beauty, because there's no place to put statues without getting in the way of someone. So that's probably something I should have considered next time. No, that was intentional, because I wanted to keep these sort of very narrow and tight corridors. Yes, so we want to put some statues down, but the thing is we don't have any in storage, and I have said many times before I wanted to get some sculpting work done, which is what the build needs to be set up for. I don't recall when exactly it was built, but we can get it set up. So we want to do until we have, say, 10 sculptures around. Don't think we're going to restrict on artistic skill, but we do want to restrict on what people are using. Uranium's a no, same with silver. Plasteel, jade and gold. They're very expensive in steel. We don't want to waste that. I prefer probably wood or marble, I think. Oh, wood or stone blocks. Yeah, because either of them we can produce more of, and they're not too expensive. And they still produce relatively good looking sculptures. So we're going to keep that at small, make it marked. And the next thing we have to look at is just the work restrictions in general. So we do actually have, one person on art. It's at a 3 though, and that's Val. Well, we can't have that now. Let's get someone else onto arting then. Not Sparkles the Jeweler, because you're both the smithing, tailorer, and crafter. And Bauer, I guess, will be... that might explain a few things. Let's just take a quick view over the colony. So what are currently people doing? Well, they're doing some hauling work, getting rid of some bodies, which is what we want. We've got Trado working on the cooking stove, same with Kanga, which is a good thing. Let's see, Kanga, you are a full-time cook, good, and Trado was the other full-time cook. And Bauer, I think, can comes in every now and then. So that's right. But I don't see anyone working on marble chunks, so block making. Nor do I see anyone working on crafting currently. I suspect that is because we're using the limestone crematorium to get rid of a lot of these bodies, which is sapping up a fair amount of time, and now because it's nighttime I can't see anything more that's happening. Okay, I think what we're going to do, wait until morning. I'm going to check everyone and see what they're doing, and then we'll work out how to modify the schedule from there. So taking a look at things once again, I suspect that... oh, wait a second, I need to deal with this. Well, as I was going to say, I suspect that we're not actually doing enough hauling, because a lot of this rice seems to have been around here for quite a while. And we've only just started harvesting the second bunch. So my thought is that the hauling's isn't getting done, and the same with the herbal medicine and the rest of it, including these potatoes. But first thing is first. Break up. So who is it? Kangaroo and Sparkles are no longer in a relationship. Ooh. What did either one of you two do? Let's take a look. Sparkles. Would have expected Kanga. Well, I guess you focused on only one person. So does that affect your mood? It doesn't. Tumble between the sheets. Okay. Fair enough. And which means that your ex-wife Sparkles. Wow. It actually went X. With a negative association. It's a shame. Okay, so what does that mean then when it comes to beds? Because I don't know which bed you're in. Okay. That's going to be a pain. Now we do need another bedroom. Because of course those two were sleeping together. I guess we can just extend lengthways here to give us another set of rooms. And we do have the space to do so, but I'm wondering if it's really the best location anymore. Yeah, there has to be a better way to do this. Better place to put it. Because we're going to run out of room quite fast if we continue pushing inside the base and then outside. Okay, we've got to be smart about this. And I'm not being very smart right now with the previous locations, so maybe it's time to expand once more. But where do we expand if we were to? Well, one, I just realised this door can be actually unforbidden. People can go out the rear entrance. Most likely we could push probably north just here. It's probably going to be the best location for it, and it also means we get access to the steam geyser or steam vent, which of course once we get the research done, which I believe is still a bit of a distance away. Somewhere in the listing. We had to use that as a solid power source. Not that we're running out of power anymore, which is a good thing. So yeah, probably pushing north. So how are we going to do this? Do we want to use sandstone walls? Does risk us losing a lot of the sandstone that we currently have in storage. Like, because we're going to be using it all up. We could just use wood because we've got more, 721 units. I don't know, let's make it out of sandstone first and then just see what we can do with it. With that amount. So let's build a copy and bring it probably right up against the edge of the what's his marshland. So it's 150 blocks to pull 30 up. How far do we really need? Just thinking about it. Because one of the things we could actually do is shift our freezer and all our food preparation into a very custom designed area, so it's more efficient for them to haul everything and move it all around. But we do keep our pantry over here, so then it would make more sense that this area gets turned into the kitchen, as we could extend the freezer into this room, so this room disappears, and then this room could probably go, yeah, probably. Then it starts getting a little messy if we start designing things like that. This was great for a small colony because it worked out quite well and did exactly what we needed to, but now that we've got so many people, we need to sort of design things in better flow, I think is the best way of putting what I'm trying to describe. But no, 30 blocks is quite far, and I'm afraid that this is also going to change the wealth of the colony as well. Let's take a look. It's under history. Yeah, so we'll be pushing a lot higher and higher, which means we'll get quite a few more raids coming in. Of course we can handle them, but I wonder if there's something better we can do. So, first of all, this was it 150 from memory? Of course I can't see. How about if I just cancel all of that? Cancel the 30 blocks and do it once more, just so I remember the exact number. So we were going around about 30 out, which is 150. 150 is 300, which means we don't have enough sandstone if we want to do a down wall. Maybe if we reduce it in length. If we tried keeping it in line roughly with this, maybe we can just hook onto the side of that mountain, or cliff, or whatever that's actually showing there. Yeah, 26. It's 130, which makes it 260, which means we can actually do a downside on this. Not that we need to, so that 130 plus, what's that, 175 makes it 200, 300 to make that distance. So maybe if we reduce it by, say, 140, and that should just be in the number, then we can do a bit of wood or something else there. The same goes for this little point here. Actually, deconstructing this wall will give us a lot of material back, which can actually be used to make the entire distance. So no, we're going to do that. And we are also going to pull in this line here. No, we're not. We're going to pull it one across. Because if people are coming in, we want to sort of make sure we're guiding them into the actual entrance here. So if they can hide around the corner, at least our people can actually start picking them off because they're close enough. You know, even that thinking we could extend this even further. Ooh, that is a thought indeed. Okay, that's what we're going to do. People are obviously going to take their time to get it done. Which means probably marking this as being deconstructed, or at least putting a door here couldn't hurt. I think we're going to hold off just doing that, because we want to make sure the base is still in a safe position. No rear entrances. No poorly designed rear entrances. I think it's a bit more of an accurate description, but no. See, that makes it a lot easier. People can actually grab the bodies from the rear entrance. They're not auto doors, it takes a bit of time for them to open it, but it's still worth it. Okay, a few minor break risks, yeah, that is fair enough. And hello, we've got our finally we've got our high-tech research bench, which obviously requires power. Did we bring power into this room? I can't recall, honestly. We've got torches, that doesn't mean much though. Let's take a look. Power is nowhere near. Okay, I'll have to fix this up. How are we going to do this? I think what we're going to do is we're going to replace this part of the wall and this part, and maybe even this part, depending on what I decide to do. I'll think about that section. Not too keen. But for sure, we're going to mine out this wall, and this wall, and this wall. Hopefully nothing collapses. Oh, actually, that's probably... maybe leave 2 blocks, and then I can mine them out later on. Then what we're going to do is probably replace them with marble or something similar. That means we can bring the power into the room, also a closer power cable for the comms table. I don't like the fact that they're actually leeching off the batteries. Never realised that until quite recently. Oh, and we still need to do the off-network set of batteries. So in case we get another zit and we lose all the power, we can still quickly... oh, no, that's not good. So we can actually change, and then, you know, we're not sort of, you know, their calling still goes on because we've still got power. Okay, so Pookie, whereabouts are you? You're in the base, and Fu is right nearby, fleeing, of course. We can't have that now, can we? Who else is nearby? Bauer, you've got a minigun. Okay, looks like we're going to get you to melee attack. Hopefully Pookie survives. To make it this long. What else can we do? Anyone else we can grab? No one else is close, but maybe Orange, because you do have a melee weapon. Should be worth giving a shot. So we'll get you over here and see how this goes. But Fu, you've actually got to hit it. Oh. Well, that's kind of frustrating. Fu, you're a hopeless shot, you know that? You need maybe a bit of gun training. That could really help. Let's see, your skill is 14, sorry. 14 in shooting, and you're incapable of hitting it. Let's see, does the nervous trait change anything? Nope. And the pessimist trait wouldn't affect shooting either. Oh, okay, well, let's take a look at the weapon then. Maybe this is not a weapon we want to keep around anymore. A pistol is poor quality and 94% damage. So if we take a look at its information, what do we see? At touch it's 83, at short it's 64%, 45 and 29. Those percentages for hit accuracy aren't very good. It's quick, that's a good thing, but it's not necessarily accurate. Nearly, what's that, 60%, which is sort of like, what's 2/3 of all shots fired are missed. That's pretty shocking. And that's it, they're next to the highest, actually. Sorry, shorter touch is higher, 83%. Which still isn't very good. What's that, 8 out of 10, which makes it 4 out of 5 shots. Oh, 4 out of 5 shots hit, and I meant to say for the 64% one, not 2/3 miss, but 1/3 misses, roughly. Yeah, sometimes for some reason I just, I think about saying it the right way, and then it just flips in my mind, and I don't realise something that I'm working on, which is why I sort of been making a few videos just to help focus and work. Just enjoy things as well. Which, of course, like I said many times before, I'm hoping a lot of you people watching are enjoying them as well. Okay, so what are we going to do about this Arctic fox? Do we let Fu continue shooting it, and do we still get our people over? I think so. I don't want it in our colony any longer. Don't think Horace is going to be the next target of the Arctic fox, but just have to see how it goes. Oh, and there we go. Too easy, and that it is another Arctic fox for us to butcher, eat, and obviously get the leathers from, which should help in our clothes production. Now, I need to get back to looking at the workflow. I said I was going to modify them just to help out. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be back in just a second. This is roughly what I think we're going to do. So, I've modified a couple of numbers. Notice with Fu has been changed to do more cleaning than hauling. That said, there's still a lot of other work for Fu to do before Fu gets around to cleaning. So with that, I'm actually going to turn a growing down to a 2 and plant cart 12. Like I said, we're going to leave that on relatively high. But Fu's job is to do a lot more cleaning, so that should help with the beautification of this colony. As I was talking at the start of this episode, it's something I wanted to work towards. Stephen has been also flipped on for smithing, changed a few numbers as well, and we finally got an arter who is going to be Taya. Taya, of course, does have some other duties involving wardening, and obviously was one of the second researchers alongside of Val. Was our second researcher alongside Val, who was the first, or our primary researcher, which amazingly is under 20. That's pretty good. Okay, well, let's take a look at the events which occurred during this small period. Throughout the night and obviously while I was working on the schedule. So, Stephen is binging in Smoke Lift. Okay, I'm not going to stop you. There's nothing too much to worry about. Battery's broken down. Bit of a shame we've lost the power, but we've got the components to repair it. We've only got 2 components. Looks like I might need to get some more work done. Hey, wait a second. I know why. I'll tell you in just a second. So, that's the batteries, and we have a mental break. Days for Orange, because your wife Legu died. Which is a little bit of a shame. Right at the very top here, that is, author was done by Fu, and the title was Purple Legu. Sad. But 'tis is life, unfortunately, in our colony, in a RimWorld colony. Okay. So you're going to continue to get a one doing it. Oh wait, I'm nearly got distracted there. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying is that people aren't getting certain tasks done is because of the priority system. If a lot of these, if it was sort of like a round robin approach to which jobs were being done, which unfortunately it's not, it's done, from my understanding, in order of priorities, and then if you got 2 at the same priority, it's the first one in the listing is done first, then the second one, which isn't, it's a system which works, but it's not the best system. Because sometimes you want someone to do a bit of some work and a bit of the other work. So you might want them to do a bit of smithing and a bit of tailoring at the same time. The thing is that they're going to get all the smithing tasks done before they get to the tailoring, which isn't too great. Which is sort of the reason why you need multiple people just with certain tasks. It's the only way you can sort of fix it and make sure everything's getting done in a relative speed or a relative rate. Because we noticed that hauling is not being done, hence why you've still got components sitting outside, and also more steel, plus all the food, which I am really afraid it will go rotten. So one of the things I can think we can do is Trader, of course, is doing a lot of cooking, but maybe it may be worth changing it up so Trader is actually doing some hauling. More haulers could actually benefit the colony. Because I've changed anyone who was priority 1, which is I think only Fu for hauling, to now a priority 2 for hauling and a priority 1 on cleaning. Because you need to focus on beauty. Helps with people's general feelings about where they live. So let's take a look. We were working on Trader's at the top, and you've been set to a 1 on grow, 1 on plant cut, and a 1 on cooking. Which of course the cooking happens first. How about if we put 1 on haul, drop craft to a 4, smithing to a 4, plant cut, let's just drop everything else to 1 long. And that should do the trick. So obviously you should be doing a lot more hauling instead of cooking, which is a little unfortunate, but means that some of the food and all the materials might actually make it closer for all the rest of the cooks. So I'll have to see how that goes. So Trader, you're going to cook a simple meal, now you're going to go and cremate. Interesting. So cremating must count as a hauling job of sorts then. Oops. Let's need to take a look at the events. So hauling. Let's take a look at the listings and do cremation bill. Oh, well that's a pain. That is a real pain. I guess the only thing I can do is maybe just turn off the job for the time being, suspend it. Yeah. Because if we suspend the job, then they'll get around to doing other things, and they can flip it back on at a later point. Yeah, okay, that's a good thing I've found that now. Because the longer we leave it, the worse off we'll be. Okay, so we need to look at these events, and I probably shouldn't have played it because we have a mad animal on the loose, an Arctic fox, which I'm going to assume is this one. Yep. So we'll just keep an eye on people, like Kanga, who's going to go out and make pemmican, and you're certainly travelling a long distance to grab a bit of meat which is fresh. Heavily damaged, and obviously no one's getting around to hauling it in, which is why we're going to lose it. Okay, well, Kanga, you're not going to go through the rear entrance, that's for sure. Actually, you just stand in the doorway, you can start firing at the animal. Whoops, that animal moved fast. That was a bad idea. You haven't taken any hits, have you? Okay, no new ones, and now it's just attacking the door. Trader, you have a knife. You're going to be the excellent person to melee attack this Arctic fox to death. And Kanga, not that way. Definitely don't walk out the rear way. Okay, we'll place Kanga 1 block away. It means they can fire over Trado. And hopefully encourage the Arctic fox to come towards us again. Or not. What are you doing? Moving away. Trader, get you back over here, and oh, exactly what I needed. So Kanga, back 1 block, and Trader will get you back in the door. And that should work. So Kanga shoots over the top of Trado, and obviously Trado wins out because of the knife. Fortunately, a few cracks and stabs always going to happen unless I was to give them better armor to use, which won't be happening unfortunately anytime soon. So Trado will get you to haul in the Arctic Fox, more meat, more skins for us to use, which is a good thing. So one of the other messages, once again we've had another breakdown of Orange. I might have to work on Orange's mood a little more, and obviously a cold snap, which if we lose these plants it's not the end of the world. Because our main growing areas are all internal. Good. Okay, let's take a look at Trado. Trado was obviously set to a lot higher, and is now Trado's primary job now is to do some hauling, but unfortunately you did take some hits, so we're going to have to get you patched up. And the closest doctor is not going to be Kanga. Who else is the next closest doctor? Taya, you're the closest. Okay, we'll get you over. Get you to treat to Trado because no one is doing that. Hate for them to get an infection, which is always likely to happen, unfortunately. And Orange, aren't you a little bit cold and naked outside? There's a cold snap, -11. I mean, I'm pretty sure my toes would be falling off if I was caught in that type of coldness. Yeah, you're shivering. You're not down yet, but I suspect you might break out of your bad mood sometime soon. Or we can only hope. That'd be right. Missed a block in the corner. That's going to annoy me to no end. Okay, I'll let that continue moving on. So, how are we going to deal with our new area? It is slowly being built. It's going to take quite a while to get done. So what are we going to do? Well, for one, I think deconstructing this would be a good task. And, oh, that is a really nice idea. Huh. I am really considering it. Okay, so what I was considering, let's get out the planning tool so I can show you a little better off. So, you know, we've walled off this left side now, which means if they want to come close, they'll have to come around the right side to get access, or walk all the way around. So I may even want to double thicken some walls and replace, well, probably the last old wooden wall, and then probably replace these, or maybe wall around it. I don't know, one of the two. I'll work out what I choose to do then. But no, my idea was that we continue on with this design, holding this wall up. It's a very long corridor, which means a lot of people should obviously come right through. Or my hope is they will. There's no defences for them to hide behind, so we should get good shots off if they decide to walk close. And because of the range, I don't suspect that anyone attacking will have the right weapons, unless they've got sniper rifles. But the other thing we can do is, I think we're going to do it from here, is go 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, no, 2, 2, 1, 2, okay, what I was thinking about doing was rounding up this corner, but of course it's not an even shaped corner. Okay, what we'll do is we'll work from both sides. 2, no, it won't be 2, it's going to be 3, just in the terms of the numbers before we, oops, that's the wrong button, we'll do 3, we'll do, that is still the wrong button. You know, so much for trying to use shortcuts. I'll get the hang of it. Do 2 and... see, 2 doesn't even work there. That's not really much of a rounded off corner. No, it's not. What are we going to do about it? Okay, I think that's how we're going to manage it. So just pulled it 1 down because the reason why it was never even, because, well, the top length was different to the bottom length, which of course cannot make a proper curve. So of course we'll mirror it on the right side, like so. But we can't do that. We've got a steam vent or a steam geyser just there, which I don't believe we can build over top of. Let's take a look then. Can you build over a steam vent? You can't. Yeah. So what are you going to do? What can we do about that? Well, we can probably just build a building around it and actually put a vent there. The other option is to actually extend this out a little further just so we can get around this. Which, you know what, I think I might just do. Let's get the planing tool out and move it by a few blocks. I believe this is probably going to be our best solution to working this around. So this is the left example. I've still got to build it on the right side, but I thought I'd just start talking about it and showing it off. So it's sort of like a grand boulevard entrance of sort that you might see in a very fancy little mansion sort of entrance. You start to enter the property. It also means that they really have to walk down quite a distance before they get inside the base, which is a good thing. Well, that's my opinion at least. So let's say 3 goes on to 4, which goes on to 3, which is then 2, 1, and 3. 1, 2, 3. I need to mark one less. Or is it one out? What did I decide? No, 2 down was right. It's an interesting shape. It's not exactly very circular. Well, it's circular, but not perfect, and not a perfect circle. But it also does give us the room that we need to build around the steam vent, and we can also build the walls and keep it looking kind of fancy. So let's see, what am I missing? So 2, 1, and then 3, which falls in line with this here. Pull it across. So yeah, all goes here. Which, of course, we'll have to get rid of this marsh area before we pull down. Or maybe even expand further. I don't know. We'll have to decide at another point. But I think that would work out really well. So what I'm going to do is mark it out. And, of course, once more, I'll see you guys in just a sec. Yep, I like the look of that. My only concern is if we decide to double wall it, how would we go about it? Now, I think if we were to double wall it, because we won't be able to do it on the inside edge, no thanks to the steam geyser, but on the outside edge should still work and still look just as nice. Should. I'm going to use that word very tentatively, because there is a possibility that it doesn't work out. Okay, so what do we got? We've got a cold snap, we know about that one. A pirate merchant, I think we can take a look at them, and a sad wander. And pirate merchant, okay, thank you. Pirate merchant, whereabouts are you? Get someone to chat to you. I'm just going to use orange because orange is close by. I'm going to get you a call. Which, of course, this is going to be one of the last few things in this episode because we are pushing the time probably fairly heavily now. I can't tell because I wasn't tracking myself very carefully when I was doing the modelling up top. But what I want to quickly do is just make sure that we get these marble walls in as a replacement. Still got more mining to do, but at least I'll make it mark it down just so I don't forget it for next episode. So, orange, call the traders, and I'll take a look once more. Okay, so this is roughly what we're going to be looking towards, selling a lot of the clothing, a lot of the poor quality clothing, and maybe just trying to earn a little bit of cash here and there by selling some of the higher quality pieces of clothing. But the interesting thing is taking a look at these people that are available. Blackout, the entrepreneur, you're lazy, I know that one. Betty, I think, had a few issues. Let me just take a look again. I think it was just the fact that you're incapable of some things didn't leave me too impressed. But Bat, the tender human, age 23. I wonder if your last name's Wayne. But unfortunately it's not. So we take a look at Bat, who their name is Varia Bat Camino, I think. Not too familiar with accented letters. But the thing is, you're incapable of nothing, and you're reasonably happy with a lot of things, like you're reasonably good with a lot of things, medicine, cooking, construction. You're probably another good all-rounder. So I think we're going to lay hands on you, which obviously means we desperately need more bedrooms. But no, let's buy you and see how this turns out. There's one more person to add to our ever-expanding colony. This should be interesting, but of course we're going to be leaving it here for this episode because it's gone on for quite too long. So, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have anything to say, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But, as I've said in the past and will say in the future, I'll see you around sometime.